Dear Father in heaven, I come before you in complete openness and honesty, and I hope I'm right in thinking that as your child, I can. You see, I'm having real problems with my faith lately and questioning whether I really believe. And I just felt the need to come and talk to you in complete transparency, since you see what's in my heart and thoughts anyway, to ask you all the questions that have been going around in my head, at the risk of your wrath. But I don't mean to be rebellious, I'm just searching for the answers. And I'm pretty sure there are lots of people out there asking these same questions who would never dream of being as upfront as me, for fear of your wrath. So I'm standing in for them too. Dear Lord, if you love me like you say you do, why, oh why, have you allowed the devil to make my life such a misery?
Why didn't you destroy him instead of just kicking him out of heaven?
Why has he been allowed to corrupt this earth with his devilish ways? Maybe you didn't believe that the beautiful angel, Lucifer, you made could possibly turn into such a monster. But he has. And you have sat back and watched him wreak havoc upon the earth like a spoilt child having a tantrum, whilst we, your creation, suffer at his hands, only with the promise that one day we just might make it into heaven. What was you thinking?
I'm not even sure that you can kill Satan, because if you could, surely you would have done it by now. Why would you allow him to create such chaos instead of annihilating him when he first rebelled? After all, you were quick to punish man when we rebelled. Sounds to me as if you're showing favoritism. Could it be that you love him more? Let me think about this. You created the heavens and the earth, including the whole of the universe, I assume, even though it's not mentioned in your word. You created the angels and the hosts to worship you. But Lucifer, your lead worshipper, the most beautiful angel of them all, gets a bit egotistical and decides that he is worthy of some of this praise too. He obviously doesn't understand why you alone should be worshipped and why everyone else has to bow to you. This is where all the trouble started. He decides that he is just as worthy of praise as you are, and so he starts a rebellion in heaven, which leads to you kicking him out, but not before he manages to get a third of the angels on his side. So you boot Lucifer and his angels out of heaven. At this point, why didn't you banish him to one of those far distant planets in the galaxy and put some kind of force field around it so he couldn't reach your creation on Earth? Well, this didn't happen anyway, so out of all the planets in the universe, he came to Earth with his angels, seeking to corrupt your creation. And you seem to have no control over what him and his posse do. Dear Lord, I know that the wisdom of God is foolishness to man, but I really, really need to understand why you would allow Satan, former chief angel Lucifer, free reign on earth, where your precious creation man lived, knowing that Satan was powerful enough to persuade even a third of your angels to rebel against you. What chance did we, mere man, stand, since you made us a little lower than the angels? And I want to know about the fall of mankind. You created Adam and Eve, your best creation made in your very own image. You created a beautiful garden for them to inhabit and gave them free access to all the fruit of the garden, except the ones from the tree right in the middle of the garden, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You also gave Satan, your adversary, free access to the Garden of Eden and allowed him to go in and out as he pleased, tempting them over and over again until eventually they gave in. Inevitably. You then blamed them for listening to the devil's lies and eating of the forbidden fruit. You cursed your own creation, evicted them from their home, and then placed the guardian angel there to protect the tree of life and stop them from coming back in. Why didn't you send your angel to protect them before, so that the devil couldn't get to them in the first place? Was the tree of life more important to you than the human race? This just doesn't make any sense. I have another question. Why did you put the tree of knowledge of good and evil in the garden, if they weren't supposed to eat of it? Why put it there then, right in the centre of the garden? Could it be that you deliberately set us up to fail? Surely, even if Satan hadn't come along, curiosity would have got the better of them sooner or later anyway. As a mother, I know that if I put a handful of sweets in the middle of a table, in the middle of the sitting room, and then told my children, "Don't eat those sweets," and just left them there for weeks and weeks, I guarantee you that it would only be a matter of time before those sweets started disappearing down their throats. They would eventually take the risk of whatever punishment they would have to suffer later, just for that moment of pleasure. Now, what if I then said to my children, "Right, because you ate those sweets, I'm not going to give you any dinner for a week"? Wouldn't you think I was being a bit harsh? Yet the punishment you have served on us, your creation, your children, just because we were tempted to eat some forbidden fruit, has been unbearable. In fact, I think you should have apologized to us for putting us in such jeopardy in the first place. But instead, you cursed the whole of the human race and made us feel as if it was our fault that Satan came to tempt us. And generations later, we are still suffering because Adam and Eve ate of the forbidden fruit. But does the punishment really fit the crime? I think not. What a harsh daddy you appear to be. But then you had a plan to redeem all of mankind, so you sent your son Jesus Christ to save the world from our sins. But when he came, his message was only to the Jews, not the Gentiles like me. We were considered the dogs. So now I pray to enter your kingdom, and I try with all my might to be pure and holy and follow your word obediently. But I constantly fall short, backslide and sin against you. Maybe I really am not worthy. Well, that's what they'd have me believe. The Bible has barely begun when already there's disobedience, damnation, murder, incest, war, famine and woe. But who's really to blame here? Man? The devil? Or dare I say it, you? In church, I was taught that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and against the rulers of darkness and spiritual wickedness in high places. That is, to recognize that it's the devil behind people's wicked deeds towards me, and that I should see past the flesh and deal with it in the spiritual realm and not react to the people, since they are just pawns in the devil's game. I have a problem with that, since you have consistently throughout the Bible reacted to flesh and blood people, destroying them when you could no longer stand their wicked ways. For instance, when you could no longer stand the corruption in Sodom and Gomorrah, you wiped out the whole city. And on another occasion, you flooded the whole earth, wiping out the whole of humankind, saving only Noah and his family. But you didn't kill Satan, the originator of the corruption. So when the earth became repopulated, the whole cycle just started all over again. In fact, I'm not even sure I believe this story, as I don't think you would be so naive as to believe that by wiping out the whole of humankind without destroying the root cause, you would eradicate the problem. You are far too wise a God to not see that. You know, some of the things the Bible claims that you did make you sound like a crazy psychopath or a mad scientist, constantly trying out new tests to see if they'll work. But that would make us, humankind, your guinea pigs. Are we just your guinea pigs, or are we truly made in your image? If we are truly made in your image, why were we made a little lower than the angels? And does that make Satan a little above us and a little lower than you? You sure seem to have given him a lot of power. I bet you think I'm being really rebellious, don't you? Well, I think so many of my brothers and sisters would love to confront you like this, but they're too scared for fear of your wrath. Maybe you'll strike me down dead. But if I know you at all, you are a God of love and of mercy and grace. You will forgive me of my disobedience, rebellious attitude and ignorance. Surely. And I know that because you are a just God, you will recognize your mistakes too. I mean, who reprimands you when you get things wrong? How many mistakes have you made in your lifetime? I'd say that putting your adversary right on the same planet as your new creation has to be the biggest mistake of all time. What did you expect Satan to do? Leave us alone knowing we were made in the image of the person he hated the most? You? Why didn't you give us more protection? I mean, look at the mess we're in now. Why did you even allow Satan into the Garden of Eden? And when he did succeed in tempting Adam and Eve, why didn't you accept that it was your mistake and put the angel on guard to protect them from further attacks, instead of banishing them from the garden and then putting the angel in place? That seems illogical to me. No, instead, you cursed man as if it was our fault and sent us out into the big wide world only to be tempted and corrupted by the devil even more. I know your ways are not my ways, but please help me to understand. Because from where I'm standing now, it was your job as our Maker and Heavenly Father to protect us from the devil, as any loving father would protect his children. Why have you left it so long to deal with the devil anyway? Why has he been allowed to cause so much havoc upon the earth and corrupt your creation which you made in your very own image? I'm confused, and the more I try to make it make sense, the less sense it seems to make. Am I supposed to turn a blind eye to the facts and walk in blind faith? Look at the earth now, the earth that you created. It's contaminated, not even fit for me to live in. Yet I'm made to feel as if I'm the one to blame for this mess that I'm in. Don't blame it on me. I didn't ask to be put here. I'm caught right in the middle of this battle between you and the devil who you created. You're right. The battle is not mine, but I'm still the one who's suffering. And so here we are, mere human beings, caught up in the middle of this war between you and the devil. We are the ones who are suffering while you and the devil battle it out over our territory. I don't know if you've noticed, but this war is getting worse and worse. People are being murdered, raped, tortured, beaten. Children are starving, going missing, being abused, corrupted, killed. The earth is dying from pollution. There's famine, earthquakes and polluted water and air everywhere. And there's a big hole in the ozone layer. This isn't the world that you created for me to live in. I was meant to live in peace and harmony and joy and happiness, in complete unity with you and my fellow men. To be at one with nature, to live off the fruit of my labour and not want for any good thing. But you have allowed Satan to continue his reign of tyranny on what was supposed to be my safe haven and steal all those things away from me. So much crap has happened to me throughout my life, from my childhood right up until now, things beyond my control. Yet I've been blamed for not praying enough, not reading my Bible enough, not fasting enough, not having enough faith. All I want to do is live my life in peace and harmony, the way you intended it to be from the beginning. The fact that there's some devil making my life a living hell isn't my fault. I didn't create him, you did. So why don't you take responsibility and protect me when you see him coming for me, like the loving father you're meant to be? And there are people worse off than me, but I'm supposed to be your child. You should protect me. I'm meant to have divine protection through the blood of Jesus. So when something bad happens to me, I have to start thinking about what I could possibly have done wrong to deserve this. Why does everything have to be so difficult? And it's not even the devil doing this to me anymore, since Jesus already came and defeated him. It's my fault, since I haven't learnt to exercise my faith and trust you totally. But how can I trust you when you've made such a mess of things? Look at the earth filled with corruption and violence. I know you said the battle is already won, but it doesn't look like it to me. I'm still living in defeat. I still worry about how I'm going to pay my rent, feed the kids this week, get to church on Sunday, pay my tithes. I've sowed believing and I'm still waiting for my harvest. Oh, I forgot to water and nourish my seed. Well, I was never good with plants anyway. That's the other thing. We're expected to wait on you, and we have no way of knowing when you're going to come up with the goods. So many times I've waited on you, believing and praying for my miracle. And when it doesn't happen, we're expected to resort to the conclusion that it was just not God's timing. You seem to play with us like we're a chess game, only moving when it suits you. I want to know and understand you more. I want to understand your ways. There have been times when I've walked closely with you, and those have been the most beautiful. I mean, there's nothing like waking up in the morning and feeling your presence all around me, or being inspired to write a piece of poetry. But I want more. I want a big house. I want nice clothes. I want to be able to go on holiday yearly with my family, buy myself a decent car, have plastic surgery to correct all those things you got wrong with me. You are a jealous God, and nothing must come before you. But I'm living in a world where there are so many distractions, and it's hard to maintain that sort of relationship with you long term. And after all, it was you who gave me the desire to want the physical presence of a man. But everything must always be done your way and in your time. I know it's because of my own rebellious attitude and lack of the fear of the Lord why I'm not walking in your blessings. I know you are my Father, and everything you have promised me will come to pass if only I do your will. I know I'm supposed to walk in blind faith and not question your word. But what good is a free will when you demand that I do things your way? What kind of a free will is that, anyway? Dear Lord, I really want to serve you in spirit and in truth. But the truth is, I find it hard to put my trust in you totally and follow your ways. I know your word. I've read it, spoken it, confessed it, meditated upon it, memorized it, and I still have so many needs. Is it because I didn't believe enough, or perhaps I didn't pray enough, or maybe I just didn't have enough faith? I've tried to believe you for finances, healing, relationships, a home. And even though my intentions are good and I've proved that I definitely would put back into the community and not just keep all the wealth for myself, I'm still struggling just to make ends meet. All I want is to live the life of my dreams. Is that asking too much? Why can't I just live in heaven on earth? Since the time of my children's birth, I've had this weight of responsibility on my shoulders, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes just to provide for their every need. Dear Lord and Father, I know you are real. I've felt your presence, walked in your grace, seen your miracles, but see, I still have so many questions unanswered, and I really need to know. I yearn to be at one with you, my Creator. But even though you say your yoke is easy and your burden is light, they weigh heavily upon my conscience, and every time I do the wrong thing, the devil, your adversary, is quick to remind me of my faults. But I've walked with you, talked with you, listened to you, and fellowshipped with you. And I know you're not this Jekyll and Hyde character portrayed in the Bible. I know you are love itself. I've experienced your love, unconditional and unending. So who is this person being written about in your word? And why have you allowed man to get away with saying that you endorse their evil works? The Bible is full of contradictions, man-made religion, male chauvinism, and lies mixed with the truth. I know you are something even greater than how the Bible portrays you. I believe that you are inside of me, and because I am made in your image, creativity is my nature too. Therefore, I am a creative being, and by being creative, I am serving you. So am I serving you here? I believe you will reward me one way or another. Well, at least the good news is, although Satan took 1/3 of the angels with him, there's still 2/3 left in heaven. So with you on my side, who can really be against me? Surely not the devil. I believe that you are mightier than he, and you've got twice as many angels as him. So where's the battle really? You know, the more I think about all of this, the more I realise that these stories just don't sound true, nor do they reflect the character of you. So now what I really want is the truth. Truth, 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 truth.
The Rebellion Part 1 features in Year 1 of Journey of a Sister. Start your journey of self-discovery. Visit journeyofassister.com or see link below to listen to the audiobooks.